Psalm 91. He who dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress, my God, in Him I will trust. Surely He shall deliver you from the snare of the fowler and from the perilous pestilence. He shall cover you with His feathers, and under His wings you shall take refuge. His truth shall be your shield and buckler. You shall not be afraid of the terror by night, nor of the arrow that flies by day, nor of the pestilence that walks in darkness, nor of the destruction that lays waste at noonday. 1,000 may fall at your side, and 10,000 at your right hand, but it shall not come near you. Only with your eyes shall you look and see the reward of the wicked. Because you have made the Lord, who is my refuge, even the Most High, your dwelling place. No evil shall befall you, nor shall any plague come near you, your dwelling. For He shall give His angels charge over you, to keep you in all your ways. In their hands they shall bear you up, lest you dash your foot against a stone. You shall tread upon the lion and the cobra, the young lion and the serpent you shall trample underfoot. Because He has set His love upon me, therefore I will deliver him. I will set him on high, because he has known my name. He shall call upon me, and I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble. I will deliver him and honor him. With long life I will satisfy him and show him my salvation.
Charlie Kirk from Turning Point USA, and keep watching His Glory TV.
And we want to welcome all of His Glory Nation from east to west to north to south. Welcome to today's Take 5. We have Marissa Streit with us, the CEO of PragerU. So we're going to talk to her about her background and PragerU and kids and books and everything that the great content that PragerU is doing. It's a small world. I know some members of their board are just absolutely great people. We're going to bring on Marissa just after these quick announcements today. By donating designer products like handbags and clothing, you help fund our mission through resale and auctions, allowing us to expand our outreach. Donate your high-end items to at hisglory.me. Donate today. All right, those are all the announcements. It's time for Marissa. Marissa, welcome to His Glory. Good to see you.
I'm so excited to be here with you.
It's a small world. You have contacts on your board that I know, and also you served in the IDF, and we have lots of love for our friends at IDF. I know many generals in Israel. They helped us make the movie Holy Land that we did with Mickey Willis a couple of years ago. So can you give us a background on yourself and what your job as CEO of PragerU and what PragerU does?
All right, so where do I start? So my background. I was born in the States. When I was about 7 years old, I moved to Israel. I was raised in Israel as an American. I felt like the kid from the United States, and I was super proud about it. I actually think there's something amazing about growing up outside of your country, especially when it comes to the United States, because it gives you a sense of how awesome America is. And so I would go back and forth. I would live in Israel and lived in the Middle East and traveled around Europe, and I'd come back to the United States and I would say, wow, America is the best. It's the best. How could anybody not think that it's the best? And so I was raised there with this just strong patriot mentality of realizing what a unique gift it is to be an American. And I that really formed my character. It had a big impact and impression on me. As I grew up, I ended up serving in the Israeli military. I was an 8200 officer. My job was to look for problems, which I say is very annoying to my husband. I find problems easily. But as a CEO and really as a patriot and as an American and education disruptor, that would be how I would define myself. It has been really a gift because we have a lot of problems in America, and America is worth fighting for, and we need to be efficient about it. We have many adversaries, and too many Americans are just head down about it. And so my experience in Israel really formed both my character and my perspective about the United States of America and the importance of enlisting. I do remember coming out of the Israeli military thinking to myself, wow, almost every Israeli enlists in defending and protecting its country. What about Americans? What about Americans who, some do serve in the military, and I'm incredibly proud and grateful for those who have served our country and continue to serve our country. But too many Americans, while they don't have to serve in military, there are other ways to protect America from within. And the first attack on Americans has been from within in our education system. And so I came back to the States. I got a master's degree in business and a master's degree in education. I became an educator. I taught K through 8th grade in Los Angeles. I ran a school, and I just saw the attack on our children. I saw the Marxification of our education system. I saw the horrific narrative that America is this evil, colonialist, horrible force for evil in the world, which is not true. I saw the attack on capitalism and the reverence of socialism, and all of those things were wrong. And I didn't really know what to do about it, except that I knew that Americans were lacking intellectual ammunition. And then what really struck me was when I ran a school, so I ran a private school, but I remained friends with many people who went into government schools. By the way, I refuse to call these public schools because they were not for the public, they're for the government. And the government schools, you could not fire these bad teachers. And there are great teachers, but let me tell you, there are some really bad teachers, and it's almost impossible to fire them. And I couldn't understand why. Why is it that you could fire a bad plumber? You can fire any position in America, you could fire, but you can't fire, unionized public sector employees. And so that really got me thinking about how important it is that we disrupt the education market. I met Dennis Prager and Alan Estrin when I was knee deep into trying to figure out how to solve this problem from within. And then I realized that the only way to really solve it is from without. Dennis Prager and Alan Estrin came up with this idea of Prager University, PragerU, and through the use of the internet and digital media, really influenced the way the public thinks about American education. And the original concept was to make 5-minute videos and carpet bomb the internet with truth so that people can hear an alternative perspective and make up their own mind. It started with them handing me a laptop and a little bit of let's figure it out together, and we did. And so 13 years later, we now garner about 28 million unique visitors to our website, PragerU.com. We have over 2 million people who've downloaded our apps and our OTT, and we garner over 1 billion views per year on our content. We make content for kindergarten all the way through adults and grown-ups. And really, again, the concept behind it is to teach what should be taught and is not being taught across multiple age ranges in America.
Absolutely. Yeah, Sam Sorbo is a friend, and Sam always famously says our public education system isn't broken; it's designed that way, and we got to fix it. So that's what you guys are doing at PragerU. What other things can people watching this do today to help educate their children the right way?
My main point and my passion is to remind parents that they're their children's primary educator, and even if you decide not to homeschool your kids, Sam Sorbo is fantastic, and she's a homeschool advocate, and I think homeschool is ideal. I do recognize that some parents cannot homeschool or do not want to homeschool, but I still say that you can school at home. You can teach your children values. And so what we do here at PragerU is we try to just make it super easy for both parents and educators to do the right thing. So we'll make fun books and magazines and shows and lesson plans, anything you need just to make it so easy for you to do the right thing for that child in your life. And maybe you're a grandparent, maybe you're an uncle, maybe you're a librarian, but to make it, if you have contact with children, we want to help you teach literacy, financial literacy, personal responsibility, the truth about America. Is America perfect? No, but it's still the freest and most prosperous society in the world, and it's worth defending, and we need to teach that to our kids. So I'll give you an example, and I think I shipped some of these to you.
Yeah.
We have the Trailblazers of America, which is a great literacy book. First of all, it competes very well against Scholastic, which makes books that are frankly woke. This book will teach you about the 7 trailblazers of America that you don't really learn enough about in schools. And if you do learn about them, it's oftentimes coded in complete disregard for the wonders of what they have done. This does not apologize for them being men. It does not apologize for the fact that they have paved the way for the incredible quality of life that we have today. And it's also appropriate and at an age range of around 5, 6, 7th grade, where kids can also practice their literacy. So that's just something that I wanted to plug in and make available for anybody who is interested in buying a fun gift for young folks.
Well, I mentioned that I got this package yesterday, and the presentation you guys do is absolutely, a lot of people just throw stuff in a box, but you guys don't throw it in a box. The attention to detail to the books, the ribbons, just everything is just top shelf. It sticks out, and that's so important that we give the best to our kids and get parents the tools to raise our kids, because that's the most important thing we can do is raise our kids.
And not enough young kids love to read. Not enough kids can read in America. And so if we make products that are fun and attractive, they look great, they have great material, I think it's a win-win. It's a great gift that you know that if you give to somebody, you don't have to be worried that it's going to teach you something that is against your values. And the fact that it looks good can't hurt.
That's right. We'll be right back.
I'm Mama His Glory. I'm not very technical, and I found a way to get to the programs and Bible studies so much easier by using our His Glory app. You can click on programs, you can click on Bible studies, and it's all right there at your fingertips. It's just a really great app, so I would highly recommend it to seniors, but not only seniors, to everyone.
Mac Bear and Cheese, Healthy Kids Vitamins. You want your kids to have the best, so why not the best vitamins? These vitamins were developed by people you can trust, not by big pharmaceutical companies out for profits. Essential nutrients for growth, development, and immunity. With a great berry flavor that your kids will love. Keep your kids strong, healthy, and on the go with Mac Bear and Cheese Healthy Kids Vitamins. Get yours today at hisglory.me.
Welcome to the world of Q Broadcast, where the future of home entertainment is here today. Now you can say farewell to cable and other streaming services that limit your options and open the door to unlimited possibilities. Q Broadcast gives you the power to choose what you want to watch, when you want to watch, and where you want to watch your favorite shows and sports on up to 5 devices simultaneously. Q Broadcast brings together all your favorite streaming services in one place for only $2 a day. That's live TV, movies, new and classic TV series, pay-per-view for only $2 a day. And for all the sports fans, Q Broadcast offers your favorite college and professional sports from around the world. Upgrade to Q Broadcast today and start enjoying the freedom to watch what you want, when you want, and where you want for only $2 a day. Q Broadcast. This changes everything.
All right, we're back with Marissa. We were talking in the break about the requirement of Israeli soldiers to work for or to be, serve their country. What would it be like if the United States did that?
I don't know that you can force everybody, but I think even if it's not a requirement, can we just get a step closer in just having more reverence for those who served? I can't even tell you how many classrooms I've walked in and out of. And there was a video that went viral of a teacher who was basically telling their students, it was in California, not to anybody's surprise, that the teacher said to the students, well, if you don't work hard enough, you don't do well enough, you'll end up being in the U.S. military, as if that's a bad thing, right? And I just think the first step is really to change the culture and really educate young Americans to realize that they're fighting for for the greatest country in the world, and what a pleasure it would be, and what an honor it is to serve in the military, and what an honor it is for us to know people who serve in the military. When I walk around with my kids and we're at the airport and we see, men and women in service, the first thing we do is we walk up to them, we thank them for their service, we'll offer to buy them something if they want a snack or something. But, I think that those are some of the first things that we need to do. Veterans Day, Memorial Day, these should not be just, random barbecues where we go shopping, but it should be a day where we pause and we actually honor and thank and revere. And I think once we do these things, and once we bring back into our education system the truth about America, the truth about the value of those who are serving America, then we can make some steps towards making it a more common thing that people serve. And so we may not even have to start with requiring it, but can we just start by honoring it and teaching young Americans what a pleasure and honor it is when we know someone who is serving?
Yeah, absolutely. We do that everywhere we go. Just recognize the men and women who serve this country, because we wouldn't be where we're at without them. And in Israel, I know the commander there in Hebron. Every time we go to Hebron, we buy dinner or pizza for the men and women that are serving the Israeli Defense Force, and it's a blessing. We gotta salute them for putting their lives on the line. So let's talk about the core problem, though. Why did education get the way it is? I know it's that'd be a long answer, but a 30,000-foot level. And then what PragerU and everybody else watching can do to combat what they try to do to our kids and are doing to our kids.
I just want to talk real quick and give one additional idea about how we can honor those who serve. When I was in Israel, I remember that on Memorial Day in Israel, there would be a siren that is played throughout the nation twice a day. And you would get out of your car and you would stop whatever it is that you were doing. And as a nation, you would stand up for 60 seconds with your head down, and you will remember and your honor. Can you imagine we did that here in the United States of America? And why don't we, by the way? Memorial Day is coming up. Why don't we take 1 minute out of our day to just bow our heads and remember who died in order to make this country what it is, and those who are serving now and what they've done? And so, when we talk about education and we talk about culture, it's these little things that I think we can learn from how other countries have honored their people, and I think that is their citizens, and I think it would be just a wonderful thing to do here in the United States. And so to tie this to your question about what has happened to our American education system, frankly, it's been hijacked. It's been hijacked by Marxists who do not believe that America is a force for good. They believe that America is a colonialist force for evil, and that it's frankly not just anti-Western civilization, it's anti-human in many of the things that they were teaching. And so you saw this step by step, that the teaching of environmentalism is a new religion, the taking out of the Bible, the fight that I'm going through by recommending that the 10 Commandments and the Bible should belong in the schools because this is a Judeo-Christian nation. All of these things have been hijacked. All of these ideas have been hijacked by an educational elite that once they made it into power, they're not allowing for any sort of competition to enter the market. And predominantly, these are the teachers' unions, the NEA, and the AFT, who have an incredible amount of power, and they continue to gain more and more power every year with the political cycles that they get involved in. And in the past, they were able to force teachers to pay dues. These days, they don't have to force them to pay dues, but it's still a sense that if you don't pay dues, you're gonna have a lot of problems with the unions. You're gonna have a lot of problems defending yourself. You're gonna get sued, and nobody's gonna help you, right? That's what they tell these teachers. And so people need to understand that the partnership that has been created by Jimmy Carter between the NEA, the teachers unions, and the Department of Education has caused a situation where you have the Department of Education creating walls for new innovation and competition in education. They're the ones who get to decide on credentialing. They're the ones who ask yourself, why do we barely see additional universities coming into the market competing, even though you can charge $40,000 to $50,000 a year per pupil? Why don't you see more competition in the education market when the Department of Education spends $268 billion a year? Why is there no competition when the money is so lucrative? And the answer is because you have educational elites who are using the term education in children to benefit and gain more political power and more financial power. And so how has this happened? What has happened is we did not realize that there were people who ascended to basically monarchy. They're like the monarchs. We don't vote for them. They're the swamp. They're there. They don't go anywhere. Anybody who tries to make any sort of change, they fight, they threaten, they make up all kinds of things against them. And then ultimately the cycle goes through and they continue to do whatever they want. And it's never in the advocacy of the child. It's always just for their own political gain.
Yeah, you also mentioned in the break they attacked simple things growing up, like the books that you guys done, Johnny Appleseed, Davy Crockett, Daniel Boone, all these great stories. The U.S. Constitution. I remember when I was a kid, we had Schoolhouse Rock, and it educated us how a bill was put into place. Now you ask people, even in college, they don't even know how a bill comes. They don't even know our Constitution.
Right. Well, most schools don't teach civics anymore. And so you can start with that. American history, what I say, they mostly teach the footnotes. And so it's not that they full on teach lies, but they don't teach the entire perspective. They mostly teach the bad things about America. Literacy is almost neglected because they use ways of teaching literacy that make no sense and have proven to make no sense, like whole language. Now, many of the states are moving to more the science of reading, which is allowing children to learn how to read. But if I was the most evil person in the country and I tried to figure out a way to take down America, I would do exactly what the educational elites are doing. I would take away literacy. I would take away the Bible so kids have no meaning and they come up with new religions. And I would create a mental health crisis, which is what the schools have created. Every single thing they are doing is exactly the reason why our nation is in a crisis right now.
And they have the audacity to attack God's children, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and they want to create their own God. You talk about power, and especially the teachers union. You look at COVID-19. Arguably, the head of the teachers union was the most powerful person during COVID-19 to shut things down. Said when they could open and when they don't, 6 feet, all that.
Yes, I mean, they say believe experts, but even many of the experts were saying that the kids should go back to school. Yeah. And yet people should really read what the teachers unions were negotiating for, because it is mind-boggling. The things that they wanted in order to allow the kids to go back to schools and for the teachers to go back to work had nothing to do with education. It was all political. And by the way, I have the NEA, the National Educators Assembly, business agenda of what they were pushing in 2022. And I should read some of these to you because you will be astonished what their issues of business were back in 2022.
Absolutely insanity. So we have about 2 minutes left. What do parents need to do to get their kids on the right track?
Well, first of all, we're trying to help you as parents and grandparents and people who love kids. And so go to PragerU.com. Everything is available for free, and allow us to help you so that you can help us raise a healthy and prosperous society. We are a nonprofit. If you would like to donate, and if this education is something that touches your heart, and we prove that you like what we do, we encourage you to give a tax deduction to PragerU. But most importantly, open your eyes and get involved, and don't question your instinct. If you're sensing that your children or the children in your life are being taught things that are going to hurt them and are going to hurt us and are going to erode the American dream, then get involved in whatever way you can. Get involved in school boards. Don't forget the midterm elections. Get involved in what you are seeing in your kids' libraries. You know, maybe this weekend, walk out, go to one of the libraries and walk around and see what's being displayed over there, and encourage libraries to display truth, to display clean books. And so I think this is our moment because we are awake, but it's not enough to be awake. I say that I think a lot of people are awake and they're running towards the hills, but we need to make sure that we provide people with the right hill to run towards so that we can actually become solution oriented and not just worried.
Yeah, we owe that to our kids and give them a fighting chance. And all the parents that are watching this, yes, keep praying for your kids, but you got to take action. Take action at the local level. Educate them. Get this the curriculum from PragerU. It is absolutely dynamite. Every single person I've met from PragerU is top shelf. You guys do a great job, and thank you for all that you do.
Well, thank you for what you're doing and opening people's minds and hearts. And I think. No matter how, these are crazy times, but I truly believe that God's hand is on this country and he will protect us, and we just have to have faith in him because we may not always have all the answers, but he does, and he knows the right way for us. So keep the faith.
Amen. Light wins. Thank you, Marissa.